respected fathers, and Prabin Francis, who makes his final profession today, parents of Prabin, relatives, dear sisters. Let me begin my reflection with a simple concept which might sound very familiar to you. It's called the butterfly effect. I don't know how many of you have heard that before, butterfly effect. It is known with so many other synonyms like ripple effect, compounding effect, but all states or gives out the same meaning, which refers to any action that sets in motion a chain reaction that's going to become very massive and enormous in its output. To make the concept simpler, but butterfly effect has been explained with the idea: a small butterfly flapping its wings in your neighborhood could become a massive chaotic storm or waves on the other side of the world, on any of the seashore. Or a small ripple that's caused by falling of a pebbles in a pond could turn out to become a huge wave somewhere on the other side of the world. All begins on a small note, but they go on to become so enormous, so massive, and so gigantic. This is the concept called butterfly effect. But paradoxically, all our minds have been hijacked by bigger and gigantic things. We never take notice of anything that is very small. Anything that is small and very little does not fall under the radar of our attentional focus. Only those things that are spectacular, that is so marvelous alone, could grab our attention, even with reflection. If you want to catch the attention of the listeners, you have to be really massive with your thoughts. Otherwise, it's very difficult to catch the attention of people. In the Gospel of John, chapter 6, when Jesus was about to perform his miracle of multiplication of the bread, they found out a boy with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. St. Andrew has a comment to make there. What are these for? What good are these for so many people? St. Andrew asked Jesus, these 5 loaves and 2 fishes, what difference are these things going to make for such a large crowd which consists of about 5,000 people? What good are these little things for this such massive crowd, big crowd? Our minds and brains are wired in such a way we take notice of only those things which are bigger, which are larger, which are spectacular. Anything that is small, insignificant, finds difficult to come under the radar of our attention. I have an illustration for you to make it clear, because that is the main concept of my homily. Suppose you are given 2 choices between 1 rupee in one hand, and that's going to double up for 31 days, and on the other hand you have 1 crore rupees. Which one you would grab? You could choose either of this. On one hand you have 1 rupee coin that's going to double up for 31 days. On the other hand, you have a large handsome amount of 1 crore rupees. We would all go for that 1 crore handsome amount. Because that 1 rupee that's going to be doubled up for 31 days demands a lot of patience, lot of waiting, lot of expectations. But doing little maths, we will come to know, I didn't do the maths, I just googled in the net, and that showed this 1 rupee that's going to be doubled up for 31 days would fetch you a fine amount of 107 crores of rupees. This 1 rupee that's going to be doubled up for 31 days would fetch you a fine amount of 107 crores of money. Despite the lighter side of this illustration, it has got some serious message for this fine occasion of the final profession of Brother Prabin Francis. Imagine just this compounding effect, this butterfly effect, for which I nearly spent about first 5 minutes of my homily. If this butterfly effect gets applied to our religious life, vowed life of poverty, chastity, obedience, and for the Passionist, the 4th vow of to keep alive the memory of the Passion, what would be the marvelous outcome of it? I can vouch for a fact, there is no place in our society, no country in the world that has been touched, transformed by this butterfly effect of our religious life. Every corner of the world, every part of the world have witnessed this ripple effect of our religious congregation through very many saints, their saintly lives, and we have so many examples in front of us. And I proudly announce, this is called the butterfly effect of our religious vocation, the butterfly effects of our religious consecration. It could be even matched with the parental style, even to that. Even the small advice you give every day to your children could turn out to become something massive and appealing in their lives. Normally we don't have this particular gospel passage for our feast day celebration, but I found something beautiful in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 5, verses 13 to 7. Jesus speaks about, you are the light of the world, you are the salt of the earth. Why Jesus picked light and salt? Because they are so beautiful in their littleness. All mothers would know the tremendous impact a pinch of salt makes in a curry. It doesn't need much time, but just put a pinch of salt. There's going to be a massive change in the taste of that dish. And a light, imagine this place is going to be dark in another 5 minutes, and somebody lit a lamp or candle, that would make a tremendous impact, changes. My dear friends, the smallness of our existence, be a religious, be a Catholic in the world, the smallness of our existence could breed sometimes inferiority complex in ourselves, but never become discouraged, because that butterfly effect of all our existence, be a religious, be a parent, they could become one day, at one point of time, they could become a marvelous, a groundbreaking effect and results. The whole history of the church vouched for this fact. One saint is enough to transform millions of souls in the world without doing anything but just spending hours and hours in front of the tabernacle. Saint John Mary Vianney attracted millions of people. His parishioners could witness a small lamp being lit in front of the tabernacle and a priest sitting there in front of the tabernacle just keeping its breviary opened. That made impact on people's life. It was so tiny. It was a small gesture of prayer, but that transformed millions of people. Or St. Teresa of Child Jesus, having spent very few years of a religious life in a small convent at Lisieux, and having not gone out of her convent, transformed, converted, impacted so many other million souls in the world, and still continues to do so. And similarly, the proclamation of the Passion envisaged or envisioned through our founder, Saint Paul of the Cross, began its flapping of the wings, little flapping of the wings. Back in 17th, 18th century, still it's being carried out with our small existence in the world. And the effects of all the charism of your congregations. We are here with so many religious priests and nuns. The effects of each of your congregation has got this butterfly effects, with its little flapping of its wings, which would have begun back in centuries before. It's still being carried out through your existence, through your smallness of your ministry. But Jesus promises, Jesus exhorts us, Jesus encourages us not to become discouraged about the littleness of our existence in the world, because of this butterfly effect, because of this compounding effect of our religious vocation, our consecration. Today we are here for a reason, to witness to the very special moments in Brother Prabin Francis' life. He is about to make his vow, the fourth vow in his congregation, and to become a full-fledged Passionist. He's going to make a vow of keeping alive the memory of the Passion. Jesus today jogs our memories with his beautiful words, "You are the light of the world, you are the salt of the earth." However trivial, however simple, however insignificant our ministries or our existence in this world may be, just put your trust in that ripple effect of your religious life, the butterfly effects of your religious life. The butterfly flapping its wings in your neighborhood would turn out to be a massive wave somewhere else in the world. That's going to be your religious life too, our religious life too, and Brother Prabin's religious life too. They might seem very simple, very little, very small in its nature, but with its butterfly effect, it's going to become massive in people's life. So as we come to the end of this reflection, I urge you, let all your flappings of your wings, of your charisms, still continue to be alive and active, because they're going to become massive and they're going to become big changes with your little flapping somewhere around the world. Never give up. Let us keep on flapping our wings of our charism with our little existence, with our little religious life of consecrated life of poverty, chastity and obedience. And may God bless all our religious consecration, and may we become the true light and salt of this earth.